What's up guys, Spin Firearms here, and we are mainly a firearms channel over here, but we are also everyday carry oriented. But the number one thing we do over here is keep stuff practical. A lot of videos I see, there's nothing wrong with it, but that guy's got a screwdriver, a bottle opener, a fidget spinner, a it's like 450 items in 2 pockets. It's like, how in the world do you function like that? It is what it is though. For me, wallet, backup mag, permit to carry, firearm, holster, good carry ammo, knife. Simple. Sometimes a flashlight, depending on what I'm doing. But you guys have been asking for what knives do I use, what knives do I carry with, stuff like that. Now, to be honest with you, the number one knife that I use is simply a Milwaukee box cutter, a Milwaukee utility knife. Simply that. They're the sharpest because those blades are the sharpest. They're the most durable. I mean, mine has taken spray foam, glue, primer, gunk, dirt, everything in the world, and it just runs. Now, is it as pretty as these? Of course not. It's just a regular looking box cutter utility knife. But that is honestly my number one go-to, as it works for everything. But outside of work, these are some of my favorite knives, and on top of that, I even do carry this. This is my second version of this CRK knife. I carry this at work sometimes as well. So before we get started, hit the like button, drop a comment down below, and subscribe. Let's get into it. This actually came with my Shield 40 purchase. I don't carry it that much, but I do like the idea behind it, having something on your ankle. I always tell this story about a cop that we know personally, or I know personally, that was stabbed like 15 or 17 times and had to let her Glock 27 go. 8 times, every one was a hit from point blank range before the person stopped stabbing her. And that was a law enforcement officer. She had to reach down. Her Glock 23 was out of the fight. She reached down to her ankle for that Glock 27, and that backup saved her life. So sometimes a backup is huge. That would be something like this. This is like a boot knife. You know, you could put it on a high top shoe or a boot, and it just, you know, tucks right in your pants. It's very, very simple, very easy, very nice. But at the same time, look at that. You have a very sharp, pointy knife, right? You can use this for a lot of stuff, but honestly, that is what I would use it for, or camping or out in the woods, that whole sort of thing. Comes with actually a pretty nice sheath and a pretty decent clip. Now, something that's very important to me on knives, which you'll notice, is the clips. The clips are the biggest thing for me. I like having something that stays where it's supposed to be, is there when I need it, that whole sort of thing. The CRK knife, they're really good quality. I know they're not, you know, $270, $300, but I don't typically need a knife like that. I just like good, durable, decent brands when it comes to everything, right? Glock, Smith & Wesson, Springfield Armory, CRK, off-grid, stuff like that. They all make really decent knives, unless you're looking for a specialty knife, that is. Anyways, I love the material they use. I forgot what it is. It's some sort of, you know, mold-injected plastic or something like that, or glass, or whatever the case may be. Not 100% sure, but really, really nice. I love the clip on it, but this thing is also really big, but that's why I like it for certain things. And a piece of paper just came out of that. Would you look at that? Probably from my pocket. Actually, a really nice knife. Has some serrations on it. But I like the fact that it has a hand guard, right? Protects your hand from going above and getting hurt, right? And it does have a double safety. You got to flip this down in order to push this over, and then it collapses. Actually, a really, really well thought out knife. Has a nice shape to it. And I would say this is a little bit more of like a defensive knife in a way, simply because it does have that hand guard. But overall, pretty usable for almost anything. Now, this is my dedicated... I know it's funny looking, it's, you know, it's like the size of your thumb. It literally is the size of my thumb, which is weird. But it's literally my mail knife, right? My package knife. I get a lot of packages. I review a lot of stuff over here. But the number one thing you guys don't know about me is I turn down more companies than I actually review for. I don't accept the bull crap. Simple as that. I don't accept the bull crap like half these other channels. But anyways, this is a Civivi, and it's really tiny. Like I said, it doesn't have a legit lock. Now, it sounded like it locks, but when you give it a little bit of pressure, it folds. So this is literally a letter opener for me, a package opener, and just a quick slicer, right? But actually a really cool design, really cool blade on it. I actually really like it. It has some little serrations right here, if you can see that. Really nice grip on it, nice texturing, and it's just one of those little fun knives, you know. I actually have a knife that's smaller than this. It's actually really funny. I should have brought it out for the video, but I don't get any use out of the other smaller one. This is actually like the perfect letter opener, or whatever the case may be, and just cool to have handy. You never know. Pretty cool. Next up, I'm not 100% sure on this brand, but I'm sure you guys could find it. I'm not sure if that is Off-Grid's logo or not. I think it may be. Yep, that might be Off-Grid. So this is a little Off-Grid that I like. This is probably my favorite knife. Not my most used, but my favorite. It's just so small. I mean, look at that. It is really a tiny knife, but it is built like a tank, and it reminds me of my Glock 26. Like, this is a subcompact of knives. It is an absolute tank. It has an awesome clip on it, a huge clip, a beautiful clip. Right now, it doesn't have the biggest, release, but look at this. A beautiful shaped knife, built like a tank. You can pry with it. This isn't a little Civivi like this. This is like a heavy duty step up subcompact, right? Absolutely love it. Flawless. A very, very sharp knife. Has this really nice button. Now, you don't hold the button all the way down because that will stop it. But if you release to that point, then you can drop it. It's actually a really nice knife. Actually really like this thing, but I don't get to use it as much as I should because it's not my favorite, but it's my most used. And honestly, my buddy Dan tried using it recently, and he said, "What is wrong with your knife? Your knife is dull. It's a piece of crap." I'm like, "No, this was my sharpest knife. I just actually get a lot of use out of it." And I think he was cutting wood with it. But anyways, long story, more holster stuff. But I really like this, and it's like $60, the off-grid Badger, or $50, and it has the best clip. It is so tiny, but it works great. Has awesome texturing on it. It has a nice little lock on there if you want to lock that blade, and it has a really nice release. Now, I have a funny story about this. My wife's dad got married last summer, and this knife found its way cutting through the package and dropped on my toe. I got home, I went to the mailbox at like midnight or 1 or whatever it was after the wedding, grabbed this, and it fell out of the package and cut my toe wide open. It was a legit cut. This is one of the sharpest knives I've ever owned, but it is really, really dull now, and it's really weak, honestly. But honestly, if you're going for a beater knife, a knife that is really good, really strong, really durable, I definitely recommend something like this, the Off-Grid. This is just an everyday carry, do-everything knife. It's sharp. You can pry with it. You can cut. You can open stuff with it. It literally will do anything, and it's not going to break the bank. Get a good sharpening tool, learn how to sharpen, stuff like that, and you'll be just fine continuing to sharpen the blade, and it can get to the point where this lasts you years and years and years. Now, out of all of them, like I said, this is my favorite simply because of the design. This is probably the heaviest knife on the table. Out of even both of these that are bigger, this is the heaviest knife, and that's why I like it. I like stuff that's built to last. I like stuff that can take an absolute beating, can be dropped, can be beat up, but still function, and that's how knives should be made. And I like how small it is. I'm someone who's just, I don't know why it is, I like subcompact things. I like smaller things. I like being comfortable. I like being mobile. I like not having a bunch of clutter when I'm carrying. I like things for certain reasons. That's just how I am. Everyone carries for a different reason. But they all have their purposes, all have their uses. But honestly, I usually just carry my Off-Grid Badger. I get a lot of use out of it. It's a really good knife. Just have to sharpen it. But these two is what I would go with. Like I said, this one is heavier than my Badger, which is actually crazy. But really heavy-duty knives, affordable, reasonable, practical. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.